Have you ever wondered why those who know so little are so confident, and those who learn more are more uncertain, and those who have truly mastered it? We are the quietest people you see in every room. If that pattern sounds familiar, either in someone you know or while watching yourself in the mirror, then today's bias is one of the most important things you will ever learn about human intelligence and human humility. It is called Dunning-Kruger Effect. This is bias number 41 in our 225 plus bias series. My name is Cussons, Africa's premium high performance thinking and strategic execution expert. The Dunning-Kruger effect is the cognitive bias whereby people with limited knowledge or limited competence in a given domain significantly overestimate their own abilities, while simultaneously being unable to recognize the gap between their actual competence and genuine expertise. Because the very skills required for them to evaluate competence accurately are the same skills they have not yet developed, so they are overly confident in the wrong stance. Psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger identified and documented this effect in their landmark 1999 study at Cornell University. And what they found was both fascinating and deeply humbling for those who really want to learn. They found out that the least competent people in a particular domain are not just incompetent, they are also the least equipped to recognize their own incompetence. So they suffer from unconscious incompetence. They don't know, and they don't know that they don't know. Because genuine expertise in any field requires two simultaneous developments. Number one, the ability to perform the skill, and number two, the ability to evaluate performance of the skill. The ability to do and the ability to know whether you did it wrong or did it right. When you are a beginner, you have neither of these skills. So you perform poorly and you cannot recognize that you are performing poorly. You see those in your organizations, among your teams every day. You don't know enough to know what you don't know. And that ignorance feels indistinguishable from mastery because you don't know the difference. So the Dunning-Kruger effect maps across 4 stages that every genuine learner travels through. Stage number 1, we call it peak of Mount Stupid, like the peak of the mountain stupidity. Okay? Peak of Mount Stupid. So you encounter a new domain. You learn a little in that domain. Your confidence skyrockets. Then you feel like an expert. You speak with authority. After 2-3 days, you give advice freely. You don't know what you don't even know. Then the second stage is what we call value of despair. In the value of despair, you learn more. The complexities of the domain reveals itself. Oh, there are too many to know in this field. You begin to realize how much you don't know. Your confidence collapses. You start regretting what you were saying before in the peak of Mount Stupid. You feel overwhelmed and you feel inadequate. That is the second stage. Now, the third stage is what we call slope of enlightenment. You continue learning, competence builds steadily, confidence recovers, but now it is grounded in genuine capability rather than ignorance fueled by illusion. You now know what you don't know. You now know the whole gamut of the journey, but you know where you are in the journey. In stage 4, which is plateau of sustainability, here you have achieved genuine expertise. Your confidence is calibrated. Your confidence is measured. Your confidence is now accurate. You've mastered it. And precisely because of how much you now know, you are acutely aware of how much still remains to be learned, remains to be known. So you know where you are and you know where you are going, but you've mastered enough to talk about the whole gamut. The tragedy of the Dunning-Kruger effect is that most people never recognize which stage they are in. They don't know. They spend their most dangerous stage, which is stage 1, completely convinced that they're already at stage 4. Okay? Now, there are a lot of examples of this in business and in relationship, which is one of the most important things for us. How we can apply it in business and how it is applicable in relationship and the fixes. So in business, this smart guy, whose name is Smart, had just completed a 3-day intensive digital marketing bootcamp. He has learned about search engine optimization, Facebook ad. He has learned about Instagram ad, content strategy. He has learned about, AI, email marketing. The facilitator was excellent. The content was solid. Now, Smart absorbed it all with good enthusiasm. He walks out of that bootcamp. He was on fire. Within 1 week, he has redesigned his company's entire marketing strategy, has dismissed his digital marketing agency. I can do this myself now. They were overcharging me anyways. I don't know even what they're doing. Smart has launched 5 simultaneous ad campaigns. He has restructured his content calendar. He has committed 2 million of his fund into marketing budget to a strategy he developed in 72 hours of learning. And these guys have been there for 10 years or 12 years or 5 years, and they feel they know nothing because you just attended a seminar for 72 hours. He tells everyone who will listen, digital marketing is not that complicated once you understand the fundamentals. I don't know why businesses pay so much for it. He's standing confidently at the peak of Mount Stupid. You remember that stage 1? And the view from up there feels exactly like the view from genuine mastery. But he doesn't know that he hasn't even mastered anything. Now, 3 months down the line, the ad campaigns have burned through the budget with negligible return. The content strategy has produced no meaningful engagement growth. 3 key clients who found the company through the agency's search engine optimization work have gone to competitors because the search engine rankings of these guys have dropped since the agency was dismissed. So Mr. Smart has received his tuition from the markets. The bill was 2 million of his fund, plus the opportunity cost of 3 lost clients, plus the fact that he has not added more clients or meaningful clients. Now, the painful irony is this. The agency he dismissed was staffed by professionals who had been in the valley of despair, climbed the slope of enlightenment, and reached genuine expertise through years of real-world application. They knew deeply and accurately what they knew and what they don't know. So their calibrated expertise looked like uncertainty next to Mr. Smart's uncalibrated confidence. He doesn't know because he didn't see the whole gamut of the journey. He doesn't know the whole curriculum. He doesn't even know what he doesn't know. He was in unconscious incompetence. He doesn't know that he doesn't know. And he chose the confident ignorance over the humble expertise of these experts. Because the Dunning-Kruger effect made ignorance feel like mastery every single time. And it will make mastery look like doubt. You say, but if you know so much, why is he taking it? He should have jumped. Yeah, he cannot jump. He knows the depth, he knows the height, he knows the width. Dunning-Kruger effect also devastates leadership. A manager who has read 2 books on emotional intelligence now confidently coaches his team on psychological safety, trauma-informed leadership, and organizational culture with the certainty of someone who has spent a decade in the field of emotional intelligence. And as far as he's concerned, they are not inviting the trainers again. We can do this ourselves. Read the book and teach. So his team can sense the gap between his confidence and the actual depth of his knowledge. They lose trust in his judgment. He was trying, but trying loudly from stage 1, which is the peak of the mount of stupid. So from that stage one, he was damaging his credibility, was damaging his honesty, his honest acknowledgement of where he actually wasn't there. And because of that, they started doubting other things about him. The same in relationship. A young man has had 2 relationships, both relatively brief, both ending before general complexity emerged. Based on these 2 comprehensive theories about women, about love, about what makes relationship work, and about the mistake other people made in their partnerships, he dispenses this wisdom freely, to friends navigating long-term marriages. Tell them, I know what's wrong with you. To colleagues working on their family genuine relationships, working through genuine relationship complexities. To family members, dealing with decades of shared history. He just come and give his advice, thinking he knows everything about marriage, about relationship. He is standing on the peak of Mount Stupid, dispensing relationship philosophy with the confidence of someone who has never yet been tested by the depth, the difficulty, the width, the height, and the genuine complexities of long-term committed, partnership. His friends smiled politely. The ones who have been married for 15 years, who have navigated illness together, financial crisis together, who have navigated the loss of parents together, the raising of children together, children's sickness together, they listen to his theories and listen to him and recognize something he cannot yet see. He knows just enough to be certain and not yet enough to be humble. In romantic partnership itself, the Dunning-Kruger Effect shows up when someone who is new to self-awareness and new to personal development, perhaps having just read their first psychology book or attended their first therapy session, suddenly become the definitive authority on their own psychological patterns. They know so much now by just attending a few seminars or reading one book. They now tell their partner, I know your psychological pattern. I know the dynamics of our relationship. I'm an expert in this. You see, they have just enough language to sound sophisticated, yet not enough depth to be accurate. And their confident misapplication of partially understood concepts creates more confusion, creates more conflict than the original unexamined patterns ever did. But they don't know Dunning-Kruger Effect, the power of Dunning-Kruger Effect, the unconscious incompetent.